And joining us once again this week as farmers are thinking about and getting ready for 2025 as they wrap up this year's harvest. Let's talk about that and get some tips and insights. Joining us, retail sales agronomist for Brevant Seeds in Missouri, Caleb Quinlan, is back with us here this week. Caleb, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jesse.
Well, let's just start. And I know we can learn a lot from this past growing season as we make decisions for next year. So how would you summarize the 2024 growing season?
So 2024 started out dry. We didn't have a lot of moisture over the winter, didn't have a lot of snow. And so a lot of the people were wondering, how is planting going to go? Are we going to have enough moisture to get crops out of the ground and get going? And so luckily, we did get some early spring. We had a very nice window to plant some corn early. And then we had a lot of rain, a really long period where nobody could really get into the field. And so had a pretty big window between that first planting there kind of in that second to third week of April. And then some people couldn't get back in the field until mid to late May. And so I think that one thing that we learned was planting date has a significant influence on some success, whether that be corn or soybeans. And then we also turned off dry later in the season. And so luckily, a lot of the corn got pollinated where we did have some rain, and everything turned out really good on the corn side. I think on the soybean side, we didn't have a lot of rain in that late July, early August. So some of the soybeans weren't as productive as they have been in years past. But 2024 was almost a complete opposite of what we had in 2023 here in Missouri. It was a lot of dry weather in 2023, so it was nice to have moisture. Just wish we could have spread it out through more of the year instead of just in that late April, early May timeframe.
So thinking about what we learned in 2024, what can farmers do between now and planting in 2025 to set themselves up for success next season?
Yeah, like I said, the corn crop was amazing. And I think that, we've had a lot of farms that are 30, 40 bushel farm averages better than they've ever had. And so I think one of the biggest things that I'm working with ag retail is we need to ensure that the growers are planning accordingly for how much they took off of that field that they've never taken off before, and replacing some of those nutrients that might be maybe a little bit at a disadvantage moving into 25, might have taken off more than they ever have with that higher crop yield. And so making sure fertilizer recommendations, maybe taking a few soil samples as well to ensure that you're sitting in a good position fertilizer wise. I think also we had an earlier harvest than normal. And so as we talk about weed management going into the winter, maybe consider doing something different than you have in years past, putting on a fall herbicide to get you to that spring time frame. I know that cover crops have also been a big topic over the last couple of weeks as we finally got some moisture to get those up and going. So those are the three things that stick out to me as far as planning for 25 is weed management on fields that got harvested earlier than before. So we have the opportunity for weeds to get emerged longer. Also fertilizer recommendations for crops that we've taken off that are better than ever. And then also planning for what else we think could happen in 2025, disease packages that are needed on certain hybrids and where you're planting all of your crops, crop rotation and all that good stuff.
Caleb, if farmers have questions as they're making plans for 2025, where can they go to get more information?
Absolutely. I would go to your local ag retailer. They're going to know what is most prominent there in that geography. You can also reach out to your local retail sales agronomist with Brevant Seeds to find out which products are doing the best in their geography.
And you can also go to Brevant.com for more. Retail sales agronomist in Missouri for Brevant Seeds, Caleb Quinlan. Caleb, thanks for joining us the past few weeks here on Market Talk. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for having me.